call to order the June 12th regular meeting of the Harris County Board of Education. At this time, that will take us to item B on our agenda, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the June 12th, 2025 monthly regular meeting agenda as presented. Do I have a motion? Mr. Goodnose, second. Mr. Proctor, any discussion? All in favor? All right, and that will take us to item C, where the board will be excused to executive session to deliberate. You didn't have these filled out. To discuss or deliberate upon the appointment, employment, compensation, hiring, disciplinary action, or dismissal, or periodic evaluation or rating of a public officer or employee, or to interview applicants of the position of superintendent. To consider a matter involving disclosure of personally identifiable information from a student's educational record, and to review an appeal from a student disciplinary tribunal. So do I have a motion to be excused? Mr. Green, second. Mr. Proctor, any discussion? All in favor? We stand excused to executive session.
Test. Test. Total. Just.
All right, at this time, I will entertain a motion that we exit executive session. Ms. Oliver, seconded by Dr. Sparks. Any discussion? All in favor? All right, and at this time, we will recess our June 12th regular meeting and reconvene at 6:30, our normal meeting time. At this time, I will entertain a motion that we move to our FY 26 public budget hearing. And item B, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the June 12th, 2025, 6 o'clock p.m. special session FY 26 budget public hearing agenda as presented. Mr. Johnston, seconded by Mr. Proctor. Any discussion? All in favor? So moved. And that will take us to item C of this public hearing, that the Harris County Board of Education listen to any comments or concerns from the public regarding the proposed FY '26 budget. Dr. Finney?
So it seems that we have nobody here tonight to speak about the proposed FY '26 budget. No one has contacted me in any other means via email or phone. We have published our FY '26 budget in the paper as required in the legal organ. And this is our second of, as you know, our second of two scheduled meetings. So unless anyone has any questions about the tentative budget, which is included in your meeting packet tonight, because we will, or you will, vote on this budget tonight to accept it. Unless anyone has any questions, that's all I have. We do also have public materials back there for anybody of the public that wishes to have them. We will keep those for anybody listening. We will keep those, and we will have those available even after the meeting. We keep those all of the time. We like to have those on hand in case anybody has any questions.
Any members of the board have any discussion or any questions regarding the FY '26 budget? All right, so at this time, I will make a motion that we adjourn the FY '26 budget public hearing. Seconded by Mr. Green. Any discussion? All in favor? We stand adjourned until we reconvene our regular meeting at 6:30. All right, at this time, we will reconvene the June 12th regular meeting of the Harris County Board of Education. At this time, would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so that will take us to item H on our agenda, and that is our public participation portion of the meeting. Dr. Finney, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak this evening?
We have no one signed up to speak this evening, nor has anyone contacted me about speaking.
All right, so that will take us to item I, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached meeting minutes from the board meetings held in May of 2025. Those are in your packets. There were no revisions or amendments made to the meeting minutes. So at this time, I will entertain a motion that we approve item I. Dr. Sparks, second. Mr. Johnson, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. That will take us to our discussion agenda in item J1, where we will hear a superintendent update from Dr. Finney.
Okay, so the first thing I'd like to do is do an update on the scoreboard. And after our audit the other day, when the auditor was here, it was recommended that it would be better for us to just go ahead and pay this rather than pay for the scoreboard rather than finance it. Number one, it's going to save on some interest. Number two is it's not going to show up as a liability on our debt service and so forth. So what I've provided you with is the ever-present multicolored East Lost form. And if you would look over here in the SPLOST 2025, that's all of the expenditures that we have for our summer projects through the end of the summer. And if you look, we've already accounted for the scoreboard as the last item in the Harris County High School, which starts on page 1, but continues on to page 2. We've already accounted for that in the amount of projects we have, and it's already been included in the costs. So to make a long story short, if you'll flip to the last page there, you'll see that remaining after all of our projects are accounted for, and this includes the scoreboard, it includes our energy lease payment and the bond debt payment, which is the last two items on the whole spreadsheet. That leaves a remaining $992,000 in the SPLOST account after everything is finished. That doesn't account for, if you'll look up there where it says FY24 contingency 1 million. We hold that in reserve, for emergencies of that SPLOST money. So really remaining after everything, including the scoreboard, is paid for, we would still have $1.9 million. Also, if you go on what we had this year, projecting if our SPLOST revenues hold pretty solid, we would have another $4 million that we earn before next summer, going into summer project season, so to speak. So I think we're in good shape to pay this, just go ahead and pay for the scoreboard rather than financing it. It would also streamline the process of getting it underway, which we, want to get it up and get it running. Well, they've already given us a pretty good discount, but I can certainly ask. I can certainly ask Dr. Sparks. That's right. That's right. I will certainly ask.
A bag full of cash can be very motivating.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I wanted to hear, if anybody had any thoughts on that.
No, I think if that's the recommendation of you and the finance department.
Yep.
I trust Ms. Seha's decision, and if that's going to save us money in the long run, then I think that's the best decision.
Yep.
And we have the funds to do it.
Yes.
Without...
I'm sorry. Ms. Seha was one that actually brought this to my attention, and she and I have had many discussions about this, and that was her recommendation as well. I don't want to speak for her though. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. The next, let me silence my phone, I'm sorry. The next discussion item I have is I have 4 out-of-town field trips here that are coming up pretty quickly. And the first one is the JV cheer team going to Kennesaw State the 16th through the 18th. There's about 22 students there. We would provide transportation up there. They would be housed on campus the whole time. So the bus and the driver would not need to stay there. Many times when we have people that go up to Atlanta, we don't require the bus driver to stay there because it's not so far to go back up and get them if we need to. So that information is there. The next one is also the varsity cheer, which is going to West Georgia University, 21 students, on the 23rd through the 25th to the cheer camp, and kind of the same transportation. That's actually closer than Kennesaw State. The next one is Harris County High School varsity softball, 6/24 through 25. They're going to Madison, Georgia. And so they've got a pretty packed schedule while they're down there playing. And so they are requesting a bus with a good AC and about 16 people going, and the bus driver will stay with them to transport them back and forth. The other one is on August 20th through the 24th. They've been invited out to Fort Collins, Colorado. The Harris County softball, I'm sorry. No, they're going to fly. They're going to fly. So, yeah. So, I'm not sending one of our bluebirds on the road to Denver. But they're going out there to play in a tournament out there. So they'll be flying United Airlines from Atlanta to Denver. And you have down here listed all of the employees that will be going, the chaperones that will be attending. Of course, there will be a lot of parents going as well. And it is a good opportunity for our state championship softball team to compete on a national level.
Dr. Fink.
Yes, sir.
I'll ask you a question real quick. On the previous trip to Morgan County, there are
Madison.
Yes, to Madison, Georgia. There's 16 students attending. Then when we turn around and go to Colorado, there are 28 students attending.
I'll have to ask that question. Yeah, could be.
Very true, because school's in on the other one.
Yeah. I'll have to get clarification on that. Yes, sir. They'll fund it through the boosters.
To the airport.
To the airport. Yeah. Or to the other ones. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that is all the updates I have.
All right. Anyone have any other questions for the superintendent? No, that's just a discussion item. Dr. Finney has already approved the
Yes.
trips,
Yeah.
which we gave him the authority to do. And everyone is following the new guidelines on that and providing a little more detail than what they were.
Yes, they're being very detailed and diligent on that, especially getting these requests in on time. And understanding that, we have these policies and procedures for a reason to make sure everything's safe and affordable and appropriate.
And then I do have another question kind of on the same line, Dr. Finney, is I did see where our shotgun team won state and will be going to nationals, I believe. Is that considered a club and not associated with the school? Therefore, they don't have to go through the field trip stuff like everybody else? Or is that as a club?
Well, if they qualify for nationals, then yes, they'll have to go through it. Yeah. Yep. I'll have to check on that one.
I know they're doing I think they're starting a fundraiser.
Yep, yep, yep.
I think I saw on Facebook, so I know I saw that somewhere. that
Yeah,
they would-
I'll ask Sean about that to make sure he gets that.
And
Well, there's Sean right there.
Yeah, and Dr. Finney, did you want to have Mr. Fisher come up and maybe give us an update on how the football field and the track and the
I'm happy to do that during this discussion item.
Mr. Fisher, can you please come up?
It's kind of, Mr. Chair, it also kind of goes along with us just discussing the school board a minute ago too.
That is correct.
There you go.
Good evening. Sorry, first off, let me apologize. I came straight from Auburn to get here a couple minutes late, so.
You're fine.
See the field, the turf, they've got the green turf down, the new turf, all the yard lines, all the numberings down there and all the yard line tips, each yard line stuff. Today, they put the center logo down and it's got bricks and all on it, holding it while it dries and sets up. Then they'll have to finish up the end zones and then put the filler in, the sand and the rubber and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So they anticipate probably next week and a half, depending on weather, what they can get being done with that. Then at the end of that, there'll be some overlap where they'll start on the track.
Very good.
When they get, the field will probably be a little bit sooner, but getting to it because of the work they'll be doing on the track will be,
Yeah.
so I don't have an exact date with that. It'll be late July. They're not using, no ma'am. They're using the indoor practice facility and the field back behind that.
Mr. Fisher, I know we've talked about it, but I don't really know what's entailed with the track portion. Do they take up part of the track or do they
Yes,
just?
they'll take it down. It's 1 millimeter. They'll take off all the way around. It gets all the strapping, everything off and the new service. Then they'll put down 4 millimeters of new service and then come back and stripe that.
And then it's gonna be the same color that it
Yes,
is now?
it'll be the same color and then we'll have a couple additional markings for different types of start options for track and field.
Very good.
We'll try to get some pictures for everybody.
Yes. Not at this time, no ma'am. That was brought to us too late in the process to consider, but we're looking at it for the future. Adding another jump pit. Because they want to be able to do that. And I say they at a high school, the track team, they want to do that to host a state track meet.
Sure, I was gonna ask about it.
I just make sure we're done with that first.
Yep.
All right, auditorium. They got the chairs all out. They've got all the concrete fixed. We're having to adjust some things on the fly that we've come across and getting those fixed appropriately. We got the paint should have started today. I haven't been able to check because I've been out of town, but they were supposed to start on the painting today. And next week sometime they'll be working on some carpets. And then the seats will be installed June 23rd, starting June 23rd. Then they'll come back and put the new carpet on the floor down after that's done.
Because if I remember correctly, Mr. Fisher, we are changing, I'm gonna say the floor plan because we're adding those outside.
We're adding a little bit. It's not a full aisle like you would think down the middle like we have, but it's giving us a little more space. So should we need to be able to get out there, we'll be able.
Yeah.
It's a 3 foot wide. Yeah.
Another thing that has come up that Mr. Fisher made me aware of was, we were taking the carpet off the walls up until the ledge to the light ledge. And we were going to clean the rest of the carpet above that. When we started cleaning the rest of the carpet, because you have to use moisture, you have to use the steam cleaners. Well, the steam cleaners would start cleaning it and it would that carpet would start falling off the walls.
Yeah.
So we are taking that off and replacing it. So that is one change that we're going to have.
So essentially it'd be almost a whole renovation. of
It's
the
going
seating area.
to, it's going to be a whole renovation.
It was about 100 seats at 890 something, I believe is what the new amount is.
Yeah.
Just because it took one off of each row on each side.
Yeah.
And we'll still have the handicap accessible
Yes.
seats in the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
right.
Okay.
All right, and then the scoreboard, the plan is to start July 7th. They'll be there taking down the old one, and once they get that down, they anticipate that taking a day or so, start putting in the beams and all for the new. I met with them Tuesday, one of the designers, everything, project managers. We're working with our electric contractor, Bass Electric, about our stuff at the press box and running it and everything and getting all them, so everyone was on the same page, what's needed where. So when we get started, it's a simpler and very efficient process. They anticipate taking about a week to get the scoreboard up and functioning.
So can Bass Electric not go ahead since they've been
They're
in those?
going to do some pre-work.
Can they go ahead and do
get
some
ready.
pre-work and
Yes,
that
sir.
kind of stuff?
Yeah,
today?
and that was what they wanted to wait till they talked with them to get it exact and everything, so
Yep.
they didn't do something wrong, then have to come back. It's
Well, as I mentioned before, Ms. Snyder's already making that shift in the pathway. We have a hospitality pathway. In that pathway, there's a sports marketing and entertainment marketing, couple of courses. So she's already shifting some of that into there. Deb Hughes, is going to do that. And so she's already got, the kids building interest with the kids, and the teachers already preparing to bring this thing online. So the one reason we wanted to make sure that that portable one was coming online is that we could train on it in the system. So yes, we are working and have a plan to get everybody trained to get that up and running
And so
before the
add
first
to
game.
what
Yeah.
Dr. Finney's shared with y'all, we've scheduled the first training for July 2nd,
Yep.
and we're going to do, I believe it's 3 consecutive trainings in that day, so that we can start getting our hands into it and getting going with things
Yeah.
and have it ready.
Ah,
Ms. Snyder and the people she's asked to help with this.
yeah.
Yes,
Yep. Yeah,
yes.
we were originally, this was going to be completely separate from our pathway, but we saw the opportunity to go ahead and work it into our pathway that we have existing.
The first scrimmage is August 1st
Mhm.
against LaGrange. Before they come back to school, yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I'll be good.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Now, just to manage expectations, with any kind of new system, we're gonna have a baseline of content and stuff that we're gonna project and things, but we will learn, we will grow, we will develop, we will gain more interest, we will gain more sponsors and so forth. So just keep that in mind.
It's a learning process.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's part of the pathway. That's, marketing and the business side of marketing, selling advertisements. Once they took a look at what the pathway was and what we wanted to do with it and the support that the company will provide for us, those resources, they were like, this lines up perfectly with what we're already doing in some respects in that pathway. So.
Very good. Any other questions for Mr. Fisher? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So that will take us to our action agenda and item K1, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached proposed to designate a school bus as surplus. Dr. Finney talked about that in our last meeting. Does anyone have any questions regarding that? All right, so at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we approve item K1, the surplus equipment. Mr. Proctor, seconded by Mr. Green. Any discussion? All in favor? So moved. And that will take us to item K2, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the final draft of the proposed FY26 budget. Any questions or discussion? All right, I would just like to say thank you to Ms. Seha and her department and all of the department heads, school administrators, everyone that had a hand in this. I know it's not easy to get all that stuff together, and then we have to come together and have all these meetings and have them come to those meetings and present, but I think everybody presented very professionally, and I think this is a very good budget, very sound budget. And I want to thank everybody that had an input in it. Anyone else?
I,
It goes down to the teacher, it goes to transportation, it goes through all of the offices. These budgets are very difficult, but everybody pays. And
I would like to add my thanks too for everybody, because everybody truly acknowledged and understood the challenges that we had ahead of us when we started this budget, and everybody did their part to ask for what they needed rather than everything they wanted. And you know, since then some things have gone our way, but it was very challenging. So thanks to all of the principals, all of the departments, Ms. Seha, I appreciate you and your department, and your guidance along the way, but I also want to thank the board for your support and your guidance and your input through all of those many, many hours of meetings that we had, going through line by line by line by line. And I know that doesn't happen everywhere, but I want to thank you guys for your support and your commitment to the process as well.
All right, so at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we approve item K2, the final draft of the FY26 budget. Dr. Sparks, seconded. Ms. Oliver, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. That will take us to item K3, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached list of personnel to serve as tribunal panel members for the 2025-2026 school year. That was reviewed last week. Dr. Finney, did you have anything you wanted to add to any of this before we vote on the tribunal panel?
Well,
members?
only that we will have some additions for this as we add new administrators that we've talked about in the personnel discussions. Yep, and we've left those positions blank here so that we can add those later.
Okay. All right, so at this time, I'll entertain a motion. We approve item K3, the tribunal panel members. Mr. Green, second. Mr. Proctor, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. And that will take us to item K4, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached proposed revision to the strategic waiver. Dr. Finney.
So as we've discussed before, the strategic waiver that we are bound by in our accountability system through the Department of Education. One of the things in our original strategic waiver that we renewed last year that we did not add was the waiving of the Fair Dismissal Act. Now, you've heard me say before that this is a allowable waiver with all of these state rules here. But I do want to clarify over and over again that it doesn't mean that we're going to just get rid of any kind of due process and due diligence in a fair process. But in certain cases, based on the needs of the school or safety or something like that, it gives us a little bit more flexibility to act in these cases. And so this is the resolution that we will submit to the Department of Education to add this to our strategic waiver.
All right, so this time I'll entertain a motion that we approve item K4, the strategic waiver revision.
Strategic wager.
Mr. Goodnow, second. Dr. Sparks, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. That will take us to item K5, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached proposed Micah's Promise Memorandum of Understanding. And Dr. Finney, I know you want to have some discussion on this.
Yes, as you recall, last time Bobby Starr and I think Mr. Angstadt, I think I got his name correct, from Micah's Promise came and went over this memorandum of understanding and gave you some idea of what Micah's Promise is. And it's a program that provides shelter and counseling, and it's basically a life-saving program for students 12 to 17 that have been engaged in sexual trafficking. And so under this memorandum of understanding, they are requesting a relationship with the Harris County School District to serve these children according to free and appropriate public education. And so in the memorandum of understanding, they have outlined what they wish to happen with us as far as how we would serve these kids. They request in here a teacher and a parapro that would be on site to serve these children as well. Having gone through this and you all having read it as well, it's my recommendation that we take this memorandum right now and table it for the moment. It gives us time to collect more information. Bobby Starr contacted me. I spoke with her this morning. She would like to set up a visit or a series of visits as we are available to go there and look at the facility to check for, you know, things like security and what kind of staff they're going to have on hand and what type of services that we could provide. But this gives us another month to kind of look, well, not quite another month, but it gives us some more time to look at this and to determine and discuss what types of educational services that we can provide these students. So it's my recommendation that we table this right now, and then I'll contact Ms. Starr to set up some visits that we can go out there and gather more information. Well, we can go to the location. It's just if you go to the location, you'll have to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Okay, so your recommendation is gonna be that we table this. So what I'm going to recommend is that we make a motion to revise the agenda to remove item K5 until Dr. Finney can come back with some more information. That's the correct course of action. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna make the motion that we amend our agenda to remove item K5. Do I have a second, Mr. Green? Any discussion?
Yes,
Yeah, Mr. Goodnow.
I know we discussed some of this at length earlier and all, but and y'all know where I stand in regards to this, and I know we're tabling it. And I expressed the concern that if we table it, we need to be expeditious in figuring out what we're going to do, because if we want this to start prior to the next school year and all. And I know they came to us on short notice and everything, but who knows in regards to that. But, you know, after this was brought back up, and I've told y'all exactly what I'd found out, talked to some of the other people in the community, Susan Andrews, River of Life, Dr. Carlisle of Focus, and a lot of them support that. You know, Representative Rice, Debbie Buckner supports it. But, and I'll say it here, that based on some of the money that we spent on some of the items in this budget that are sports related, that I think with that type of money spent for that, we could afford a teacher and stuff to help these kids that are probably the most vulnerable. And there's been people saying, well, you know, we do Carpenter's Way and Arabella, but to me, those are two totally different situations concerning these type kids. And that I think Troup County does it, Muskogee County does it. If we can set something up that pars to what they want, and they're going to be Harris County students, and, you know, it's our responsibility to teach them, and that we do it and do it in a safe manner and figure out a way, because we talked about homebound. I don't like the idea of homebound, just because the fact is I have it right. Homebound set up to help kids that are sick or problem stuff to come back into the school system. Well, this probably won't happen in that situation. Now, how it has to be set up and stuff and all, I'm not aware of that, but I would like to try to see that if we work out something, as you said, maybe a part-time teacher or a parapro or something to do that other than a homebound situation.
Mr. Goodnow, I don't disagree with anything you just said, and I don't think the purpose of this board or the recommendation from our chair or myself was to not do this at all. I think it was to give us an opportunity to get our ducks in a row so that we can better help them, and we just gotta figure out what it is. And,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I know where we're going with that, but I just want to make understand that
make sure we got enough time.
there's
Today,
enough time to be able to do this
So-
because school's going to start a lot sooner than we think at doing it. And then if we're going to have to figure out what we want to do, how we're going to do it, you know, we can't lollygag around at trying to figure it out.
I know a month and a half goes by quick. I know.
Yeah, and you know, we're talking about the safety and security, that's probably one of the most secure place sitting here in Harris County other than the jail system. With it, if they have set up the way they say they do and, you know, to protect these type individuals. And also, I just can't believe it would be, you know, that unsecure and unsafe.
I don't think anybody here would disagree with that.
Mr. Johnson?
I just had a question. Are these students here now?
No, they're not here yet.
They're not here yet.
ETA?
Well, that's some of the information that we've got to get. Yeah.
So, Mr. Ellington has shared with us, if there is an instance where we need to vote to approve something in our normal, what is committee meeting, which is the first meeting that we have, we can, after that meeting, we can have a special called meeting that's on the books. And at that meeting, which we don't normally vote in the committee meeting, but we can if we have a special called meeting, and we could put that on the agenda, just this item, and address it at the first meeting in July if Dr. Finney and his staff are ready to move on that. So we can definitely address it at our next meeting, which is 2 weeks, two and a half weeks away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we can definitely address it if we need to, if we have the need to. I would like Dr. Finney said, to have a little bit more information as to when these students are going to be arriving, when we will need to start serving these students, all of that information. And as Mr. Green said, I don't think anyone on this board does not want to assist here. And to your point, these are some of the most vulnerable children in the world. And we want to make sure that we can offer them the services that they deserve to get. So we can have a special called meeting after that one if we need to. So I think we trust Dr. Finney and his staff to get some additional information. And then we can, if he has the need to put it on there, we can revise our agenda for July 2nd and put a special called meeting after our normal committee meeting and to vote on Micah's promise. Okay, when the first meeting in July. Dr. Sparks.
Even if we don't have a regular scheduled meeting, if there was ever an emergency situation.
We could have a special call meeting. Yes, ma'am, we can. We just have to put enough notice out there to the public that we are gonna have a meeting and what it's about. No, we're not bound by a calendar. No, ma'am. But we would be here that night anyway. You are correct. Any other discussion? All right, so the motion was made to remove item K5, to amend the agenda and remove item K5 from the agenda. It was seconded by Mr. Green. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? So moved. All right, so that will take us to item K6, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached proposed revision to board policy GARH, employee leaves and absences. Dr. Finney?
Yes, so one of the rules from the DOE and the state that we have to add to our leaves and absences policy is the organ and bone marrow donation leave. Employees would then be eligible for the organ and bone marrow donation leave. So highlighted on page, well, it's not truly 53, but at the bottom of the page is page 53, and highlighted in yellow is what we were required to add to our leave and absence policy.
All righty. Does anyone have any questions or concerns?
Didn't we also make a change on what would be page 55 as well?
I think that was already highlighted. I think that was erroneously highlighted.
I think I did ask last time, do we know whether the state is going to fund this extra?
We do not.
Great. Any other questions regarding that? All right, so as with any revisions to any policies, this policy will have to sit on the books for 30 days. So we will vote on this at our second meeting in July to make this revision, or to vote to approve, to enact this revision to the BOE policy GARH. Right? So that will take us to item K7, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached proposed new policy ICC curriculum research. Dr. Finney?
So we've seen a need over the last year or so where we get a lot of requests to conduct research in the classrooms, in the schools, in the school district. And some of it was very appropriate research that was being requested. Some of it was not really appropriate research that was being requested. And so we didn't really have a concrete policy that governed such research that is being requested. So Dr. Patterson did a lot of good work in looking at other policies across the state. And we've come up with a curriculum research policy here that helps us ensure that the research is beneficial to the school district, can help our staff who are working on advanced degrees, because, they do need to conduct research, but also protect students and the school district in that research. So this policy is being recommended to help us with that, because what we're seeing is a lot of universities have kind of relaxed their IRB requirements. And so in lieu of that as well, we felt it kind of safeguarding us to have this policy in lieu of that.
Okay. So as with item K6, item K7, Board of Education Policy Adoption, ICC, will have to sit on the books for the required 30 days, and we will vote on it at our second meeting in July as well. That will take us to item K8, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached proposed exhibit edition artificial intelligence to board policy IFBG, internet acceptable use. Dr. Penny.
So in an effort to bolster our acceptable use policies for computers and media of all different kinds, the emergence of AI has prompted us to revise our policy to include AI in our acceptable use policies. And if you were part of the House Bill, I think it's 351. I think it's House Bill 351. The General Assembly has signed into law these requirements to upgrade our acceptable use policies. So this is just going to be the beginning of upgrading those to protect kids and to promote social media and digital citizenship. So with AI on the rise, we felt it an immediate need to amend this policy to include acceptable uses of AI for students, staff, parents, and also outline what unacceptable uses are. So again, Dr. Patterson did a very good job in doing this policy research. She got feedback from teachers, principals, parents, just about everybody that you could to put this together, cross-referenced it with a lot of the state AI policies. And we think we've got a good beginning here on helping everybody understand what's going to be acceptable and not acceptable in the use of AI, because AI is here to stay.
All right, so that would take the, oh, excuse me. So as with the other two revisions, this policy will sit on the books for 30 days. and we will vote on it at the second meeting in July as well. All right, so that will take us to our consent agenda and item L1, major purchases report. The Harris County Board of Education reviewed the attached major purchases report for May of 2025. Those were in our packets last week. Did anyone have any further discussion or questions regarding the major purchases report? All right, so at this time, I will entertain a motion that we approve item L1. Mr. Goodnow, second. Mr. McBroom, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. And that will take us to item L2, that the Harris County Board of Education review the attached financial report for May of 2025. That was also in your packet last week. Did anyone have any questions or any concerns regarding the financial report? All right, so at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we approve item L2, the financial report. Mr. Johnson, second. Mr. Proctor, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. And that will take us to item L3, that the Harris County Board of Education review the attached enrollment report for May of 2025. Those were not in our packet, so I'll give you a moment to review that. And if you have any questions, please ask Dr. Finney.
They are. Yes, sir. That's what I observed too, that our numbers are staying steady and then, you know, the graphs show it, but what I really like is this first page here. You can see that some of our class sizes for the whole grade level across the district are even under 400 in a couple of cases. And so we are starting to see a trend, especially at the lower grades, where we think that's beginning to level out. And as those kids, like right now, are transitioning to the next grade, then that next grade is leveling out. So I think we're in a good spot right now if these trends hold, to kind of catch our breath and continue what we're doing as these student numbers have leveled off, kind of catch our breath and be able to plan and prepare for when they start going up again, because I can assure you they're probably going to start going up again.
Any questions or discussion for Dr. Finney?
No, I was gonna make the same. It seems like we have, you know, more and more out of county students coming in.
We do have more out of county students coming in, and I think the reason we're identifying some of those out of county students is because of the parameters we put in place on registration. You know, we changed our registration protocols. You know, something as simple as making the driver's license address match the address that you're claiming as residency. I can tell you I've had probably 30 or more calls from people that were upset that we were doing that. And so I think it's been a very effective tool for us. And I think that's another reason why we are looking at those increased out of county numbers.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the non-paying are our faculty and staff. Yeah. 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 Sorry, I was not looking at that.
Okay, so 125 total.
Yeah.
109, those are faculty and staff, so 60.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, given what I just explained too, I think that's also a contributing factor to our numbers leveling out as well.
Well, I mean, I can tell you, I didn't think about it until you brought it up. I live on the south end of the county. I live in what is called Fortson. Hartford Fortson is in Muskogee County. Hartford Fortson is in Harris County. And when I looked at my license, the DMV never asks you what county you live in. They just assume it's Muskogee, and I have Muskogee County on my license. as county, but I look, my Harris County address is on there.
Hmm.
I mean, if you don't look and you don't think about it, and they just assume, put it on there.
Yeah.
So I have to get that changed for I will renew mine this year. No, I still physically live in Harris County.
We'd have to charge you tuition and stuff for that.
You know, turkey back tuition, mine are going.
Yeah.
All right, so at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we approve item L3, the enrollment report. Mr. Goodnow, second. Dr. Sparks, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. That will take us to item L4, that the Harris County Board of Education review for information only, the proposed district-wide employee handbook. Dr. Finney, I think you've had some folks make some comments about this? No?
Well, I guess maybe the dress code portion of it. So that's probably, well, first of all, let me thank Ms. Carlisle and her staff for putting this together. It's been a labor of love for a whole year. And it's the first district-wide employee handbook that we've had. And we wanted to get this done because it's going to help us be more consistent across the district with a lot of our operations and expectations for staff. So congratulations to Ms. Carlisle and her staff for putting this together. She did get a lot of feedback, and they did get a lot of feedback, not just locally, but across the state. They like Dr. Patterson did with those other policies, a lot of cross-referencing, a lot of picking and choosing across the state of what was good in those employee handbooks. So we think we've got a really good submission here. One of the things that's in here is the dress code, one of the things that is changing. And with the employee dress code, especially, we are looking at making the employee dress code more applicable to what teachers actually do in the classrooms now. And so you'll see some flexibility, especially now that we are a STEAM district, a STEAM focused district, especially at the elementary levels where our, teachers have little kids out there digging in the gardens and feeding the chickens. Well, you don't want to be doing that in heels and a dress. And so we surveyed and talked to the staff about this and administrators and some of our aspiring leaders and got feedback on this. So they're going to see some differences in what the expectations are for the teachers as far as the dress code. And we feel like our teachers are professionals and that they can maintain that professional appearance and demeanor while still being appropriately and comfortably dressed for their job. And we think this is going to be a real morale booster as well. But we are still going to maintain some professional standards when it comes to dress code. Administrators, the school principals, this will not apply to them always because, as school leaders and district leaders, we're held to a higher standard. And people need to know who that principal is when they walk into the school. And so we hope this is beneficial for the teachers. We hope it makes their job easier. We hope it boosts their morale.
Very good. All right, so at this time, I will entertain a motion that we approve item L4, the employee handbook. Mr. Green, second. Ms. Oliver, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. And that will take us to item L5, the Harris County Board of Education review for information only, faculty handbooks and student parent handbooks from each school, as well as the district-wide student behavior code handbook for the 2025-2026 school year. Do you want to speak on that?
Sure. So we still have a handbook at each school, and I want to commend Ms. Baker and her staff for heading up to this side of it. And so these will work in conjunction with the district employee handbook, but there are some things unique to each school on how they operate at each school that needs to be separately defined and separately outlined from the district employee handbook. So that's what you have here for each one of the schools. I also sent these, I believe, I forget which date I sent. I think it was like May 30th or so. I think it was an email I sent to you in May 30th that has all of these linked along with the employee handbook that you can continue to review those if need be. We keep these open as living, breathing documents so that we can edit them as we see a need to. because there will be some things that need to be edited and, addressed and possibly changed as situations arise. I'll have to check on that. They will be. Yeah, they will be. No, I haven't given you hard copies because I didn't want to send you home with this much stuff, so no. We're trying to go all digital, yeah, with this.
Well, we need to, if we're
Yeah.
going digital,
Yeah.
I know each year, one of the things, if we have at tribunals is if they sign the handbook.
Mhm.
So I think the parents need to, well, since it's digital, a lot of folks tend to scroll through it and just sign it.
Yeah.
And so I think some probably need to make sure they read everything in depth
Yeah.
so they know
Yeah.
everything that's in there.
That's exactly right.
And Dr.
So
Finley,
this time was somebody had a question?
I'm sorry, it's Ms. Baker, Mr. Ray, I'm sorry. I would like to say that the district handbook will be hard copy and it also will be posted on our district website. So they will go home to all students.
Yes, that one will, yes.
I knew I heard somebody. It was
Yeah.
Miss Baker, the voice
Ms.
from
Baker.
above.
Thank you, Ms. Baker.
I'm sorry, thank you.
Not every one of them.
No, just the district handbook.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we approve item L5 handbooks. Mr. Goodnow, second. Mr. Johnston, any discussion? All in favor? So moved. That will take us to item L6, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached school nutrition report for May of 2025. Those were not in your packets last week, so I'll give you a few minutes to review that as well. Anyone have any questions regarding that? All right, so at this time, I'll entertain a motion. We approve item L6, the school nutrition report. Mr. Johnson, second. Mr. Proctor, any discussion? All in favor? So moved.
Mr. Chair, could I ask Mrs. Baker a question?
Of course.
Ms. Baker, on, how is our summer lunch program going?
It is going very well, Mr.
It
Goodnow.
is.
Last Monday, which is our first day serving, June the 2nd, we served 376 people that came to pick up meals. This past Monday, we increased to 426 people that came to pick up meals. And I've done the math on that. That means we have given out 11,228 meals to those that came to pick up. And that does not include the number of students who are eating lunch at the schools, at Park and at Harris County High School.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a lot of meals.
Yes.
When they come, they're getting a week's worth. Is that correct, Ms. Baker?
Yes, sir. They get 7 days of breakfast meals and 7 days of lunch meals. So 14 meals per person.
Need a cargo van to take it all home.
And some people are coming with that.
Well, thank you and your staff for everything they do every day to help those folks that need those meals.
Thank
It's a
you.
great service that we provide.
Thank you. And we want to thank our volunteers because we've had many volunteers to come out and assist because the school nutrition staff does a great job, but they cannot handle that volume by themselves. So we're really appreciative of the community support that we're getting.
Very good.
Ms. Baker,
Yes, ma'am.
if people wanted to volunteer, what are those hours on Monday at the park?
If they're coming for the meal distribution, the meal distributions are 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So that will take us to item M, where members of the Harris County Board of Education share news and information they might have with the public. And this evening, I'm going to start with Mr. Proctor.
Not much to say other than, I hope everyone is having a very enjoyable and restful summer. We just came back from a very informative state board meeting. And I guess the last thing is all you fathers, happy Father's Day.
Same to you, sir. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Green.
I don't have any.
Ms. Muriel. Mr. Goodnight. Ms. Oliver.
Well,
She always has something.
y'all, we have to do this because I'm scared it's Randy's last night. Randy, is this your last night? Okay, never mind. I don't have him.
Okay.
I wanted to recognize Randy, but Randy, I need you to stay healthy through next month. Okay, we'll see you next month. Bye-bye.
Dr. Sparks.
Thank you for all the work that was done on the budget. Sorry I missed you guys in Savannah. Had a great time.
Dr. Finney.
Well, I thought it was a good GSBA conference. As you know, attending the policy workshop, there's a lot of policy work to be done. And so we're just going to have to start planning on that, buckle down and start meeting those requirements. I think generally most of it is very applicable and much of it is needed. So we're looking forward to doing that work. I will contact, going back to Micah's promise MOU, I'll contact Ms. Starr tomorrow, and hopefully we can start setting up some meetings to go out there and visit Micah's promise. I just hope that all of the teachers and all of the district staff are having a wonderful summer. It was a great year, and I hope everybody's getting a well-deserved rest.
Oh, could I say one thing I just happened to think of?
No.
Well, thank you. Ms. Sawyer, how did you enjoy the conference since you went this year?
You're freaking her out right now.
I did. Thank you. I loved it.
All right, I just want to know you make sure you got all those policies and all that information.
Yeah.
Make sure you went to your class. You weren't doing some retail therapy down on River Street, were you?
No, sir, I actually was very engaged and even asked questions.
The mayor of Savannah encouraged us to do it and duck out of GSBA to go do. I just want to say thank you to all of the teachers and staff that worked during the summer with summer school, and I believe it is ESOL. Is it, what is it? What is the?
ESY.
ESY, sorry, with our special, with our SPED kids, during the summer. That extra time that you spend with those and helping these kids that are trying to get their diplomas and trying to get advanced to the next grade in summer school. I appreciate all the time that you're spending because that cuts into your break. I know you're compensated for it, but it cuts into your break time as well. So thank you for that. Mr. Fisher, you and your staff are doing a great job with all these projects that you've got going on. I know you've got several plates spinning at the same time, but all of the projects seem to be moving forward, and hopefully everything will be done and nice and shiny and new when we come back. And to our teachers, enjoy your summer break. It goes by quick. I know that you're not counting down the days, but it won't be long before we'll be back in here. So enjoy your time away. It's well deserved. So at this time, I will entertain a motion that we approve the personnel recommendations made by the superintendent. Mr. Proctor, second. Mr. Johnson, any discussion? All in favor? And at this time, I will make a motion that we adjourn for the evening. Do I have a second? Mr. Green? No discussion, right? Any discussion? All in favor? So moved. We stand adjourned.